They say her hair still grows, even though she's been dead for centuries. The whisper traveled through the village like a sickness, infecting the minds of those foolish enough to listen. No one dared to approach the ruined tower in the forest's heart, where vines choked the stone, and the wind carried ghostly sobs through the trees. They called it Rapunzel's tower, though no one knew if she had ever truly existed. But every few decades, when the moon was at its fullest, someone vanished near its crumbling gates. Edgar didn't believe in ghost stories. He was a man of logic, a scholar who had spent his life unraveling myths. So when he arrived in the village, he scoffed at the frightened glances, the hushed prayers of the elders, and the crude wooden charms hanging from doorways. He had come to find the truth behind Rapunzel's legend. He ventured into the forest at dusk, his lantern casting weak, trembling light. The deeper he walked, the heavier the air became, thick with the scent of rotting flowers and something else, something metallic. Something like blood. Then, he saw it. The tower loomed in a clearing, impossibly tall, its blackened stones slick with moss and damp. Vines curled around its base like skeletal fingers, and from the highest window, a cascade of golden hair spilled down, swaying ever so slightly, though there was no wind. Edgar took a step closer. The air grew colder. His breath curled in mist. He reached out, his fingers brushing the strands, soft, almost alive. A shiver crawled down his spine. Then, the hair moved. Not from the wind. Not from his touch. It slithered. Coiled. Wrapped around his wrist. Before he could react, it tightened, yanking him forward with impossible strength. He slammed against the stone wall, his lantern falling from his grasp and shattering. Darkness swallowed him whole. A whisper curled around his ear, as soft as silk, as sharp as a knife. You should not have come. The ground shifted beneath him. No, not the ground, the hair. It slithered up his arms, his neck, threading into his mouth, his nose, choking him. Panic exploded in his chest as he struggled, but the more he fought, the tighter it held. It dragged him upward, toward the window, toward the gaping darkness beyond. He barely had time to scream before he was pulled inside. The room was suffocatingly small, the air thick with the scent of decay. He landed on something soft, something warm. His hands sank into it. Hair. Piles and piles of hair. And beneath it. Something moved. A face emerged from the tangled mass, pale as death, eyes sunken, lips twisted in a grin too wide for a human mouth. She never left, the thing rasped. And now, neither will you. Edgar's screams were swallowed by the golden abyss as the hair coiled around him, pulling him down into the endless, writhing dark. The tower stood silent once more. And the hair, still golden, still growing, reached hungrily for the ground below. Why?